They say the rain doesn't care who you are, rich or broke. It soaks you all the same. But when William Alanis knelt in a puddle on a dark Soto street, hands already black with grease, and changed a crying teenager's flat tire for free, nobody warned him that one act of kindness could burn his entire life to the ground. He wasn't looking for gratitude. He wasn't looking for anything. But the next morning, 2 bodyguards in black suits walked into his garage, as they owned it, and the woman behind them, Irene Dubose, the most powerful and feared woman in Seattle, wasn't there to thank him. She was there because her daughter told her something no amount of money had ever given her. For 1 hour in that garage, I felt safe. And now Eleanor, the shadow queen pulling strings inside Irene's own mansion, was about to make sure William Alanis never felt safe again. Before we continue, please tell us where in the world you are tuning in from. We love seeing how far our stories travel. But that is getting ahead of the story. William Alanis was not a complicated man. He was 38 years old. He owned a small garage on the edge of Soto in Seattle. The garage was not fancy. The walls were gray. The floors were stained with oil. But it was his, and he paid for it with his own 2 hands every single month. He had 1 daughter. Her name was Lily. She was 7 years old, and she followed him everywhere. She wore a tiny tool belt around her waist that matched the one William wore. People in the neighborhood knew William as the quiet man who fixed cars cheaply and never turned anyone away. He was not rich. He was not famous. But people trusted him, and in Soto, trust was worth more than money. William had been a widower for 4 years. His wife, Sarah, died from cancer when Lily was only 3. William did not talk about it. He did not feel sorry for himself. He just kept working. He kept fixing cars. He kept raising Lily. That was his life, and he did not complain about it. On that Tuesday night, it was raining hard. William was closing up the garage. Lily was asleep in the back room on a small cot William had set up for her. The rain was loud on the metal roof. William was about to lock the door when he saw the headlights. A silver Porsche was stopped on the side of the road. The front right tire was flat. The car was expensive. William knew that much. But what made him walk over was not the car. It was a girl inside. She was sitting in the driver's seat with the door open. She was crying. She looked scared. She did not look like someone who belonged in the rain on a street like this. She looked young, maybe 15 or 16. Her clothes were nice, but she was shaking. William walked up and did not say much. He just asked her if she needed help. The girl nodded. She could not even speak. William did not ask her why she was crying. He did not ask her where she was going. He just got to work. He pulled out his tools. He lifted the car. He pulled off the flat tire and put on the spare. It took him about 20 minutes. The rain soaked through his clothes, but he did not care. He had worked in worse conditions than this. When he was done, he wiped his hands on a rag and looked at the girl. She had stopped crying. She looked at him like he was the first person in a long time who had done something kind for her without wanting something back. William reached into his jacket pocket. He had a small carved wooden bird he had made for Lily that week. He had been planning to give it to her in the morning, but something told him to give it to the girl instead. He handed it to her and said one thing. He said it was for luck. The girl took it. She looked at it for a long time. Then she looked at William and said, "Thank you." It was quiet and small, but it was real. William nodded and stepped back. The girl drove away into the rain, and William stood there for a moment watching the red taillights disappear. Then he went back inside and finished closing up. He did not think much about it that night. He thought it was just a girl who had a bad night and needed help with a tire. That was all. William was not the kind of man who looked for meaning in small moments. He just did what was right and moved on. But the next morning, everything changed. William was opening the garage at 7 in the morning. Lily was eating cereal at the small table in the back. William was unlocking the front door when he saw them. 2 men in black suits are standing outside. They were big, and they stood still like they had done this before. And behind them, stepping out of a black car, was a woman. She was tall. She wore a long dark coat. Her hair was black and straight and perfect. Her face was cold. She looked at William the way a queen looks at someone who has just interrupted her morning. William did not know who she was yet, but he would find out very soon. Her name was Irene Dubose, and she had come to change his life forever. William did not know who she was yet, but he was about to find out. The woman walked into the garage without waiting to be invited. The two bodyguards stayed outside by the car. She looked around the garage slowly. She looked at the tools on the wall. She looked at the oil stains on the floor. She looked at the small table in the back where Lily was eating cereal. Then she looked at William. Her eyes were cold, but there was something else in them, too. Something that looked like fear. William had never seen a woman like her look afraid before. She told him her name, Irene Dubose. William had heard that name before. Everyone in Seattle had. The Dubose family owned half the buildings in the city. They owned companies, land, and hospitals. Irene was the head of all of it after her father died 3 years ago. She was powerful. She was rich. She was the kind of woman who never needed anything from anyone, but she needed something now. Irene sat down on a metal stool near the workbench. She did not sit the way rich people usually sit. She sat like someone tired. Tired of fighting. Tired of pretending everything was fine. William pulled up another stool and sat across from her. Lily looked up from her cereal, but William told her to keep eating. She did. Irene started talking. She told William about her stepmother. Her name was Eleanor. Eleanor had married Irene's father 5 years before he died. Eleanor had a son from a previous marriage. The boy had autism. His name was Marcus. Eleanor loved Marcus, but her love was not normal. It was a jealous love, a greedy love. Eleanor looked at Irene and saw everything she did not have. She looked at Patricia and saw a healthy girl who was loved and cared for, and she hated them both for it. When Irene's father died, Eleanor became the gatekeeper of the family estate. She did not own the company. That belonged to Irene. But Eleanor lived in the mansion. She controlled who came and went. She controlled the staff. She controlled the schedule. And slowly, piece by piece, she started to control Patricia. Irene told William that it started small. Patricia's things would go missing from her room. Her homework would disappear. Her phone would stop working at strange times. Patricia started to believe she was losing her mind. She started to cry at night. She started to pull away from her friends. Eleanor would tell the staff that Patricia was unstable. She would tell the board members that Irene was a bad mother who let her daughter fall apart. Eleanor was building a case. A slow, quiet case that no one could see. William listened. He did not interrupt. He did not ask too many questions. He just listened the way he always did when someone came to him with a problem. He let the person talk until the words ran out. When Irene finished talking, she looked at William and waited. She was waiting to see if he believed her. Most people did not believe her. They looked at Eleanor and saw a caring stepmother who was always by her disabled son's side. They saw a woman who sacrificed everything for her family. But Irene knew the truth. Eleanor was not sacrificing anything. She was using Marcus to make people feel sorry for her. She was using his condition as a shield to hide the damage she was doing. William was quiet for a long time. Then he asked one question. He asked how Irene knew he was the right person to help her. Irene looked him straight in the eyes. She told him that Patricia came home that night holding a small wooden bird. She told him that Patricia said that for 1 hour in a dirty garage in the rain, a stranger made her feel safe. That was the first time in months Patricia had stopped crying. That was the first time in months someone had done something kind for her without wanting something back. Irene paused. Then she told William what she wanted. She wanted him to come work for her, not as a mechanic, as her head of security and estate manager. She wanted him to live in the mansion with Lily. She wanted him to be the eyes and ears where the cameras could not reach. She wanted him to watch Eleanor. She wanted him to protect Patricia. William thought about it. He thought about Lily. He thought about his garage. He thought about the life he had built with his own hands. It was a small life, but it was safe. What Irene was asking him to do was dangerous. Eleanor was not a stupid woman. She was clever, and she was ruthless. And if William got in her way, why she would come after him. But then he thought about Patricia. He thought about the girl in the rain who could not stop shaking. He thought about the way she looked at him when he handed her the wooden bird. He thought about what it meant that a girl with millions of dollars in her life felt safer in his dirty garage than in her own home. William looked at Irene and said yes. If you're listening right now, help me prove something wrong. My dad said I wouldn't even reach 1,000 subscribers. But I believe stories like this deserve to be heard. Help me show him that these tales matter. Please subscribe to this channel, and let's keep breathing life into stories that were never meant to stay silent. Now let's continue. William moved into Dubow's mansion 3 days later. He packed one bag for himself and one small bag for Lily. They did not bring much. William was not a man who needed much. Lily brought her stuffed rabbit and her tiny tool belt. That was enough for both of them. The mansion was huge. It had more rooms than William could count in one day. The ceilings were high. The floors were made of white marble. Everything was clean and perfect and cold. It did not feel like a home. It felt like a museum. William knew right away that this place had not felt like a real home in a long time. Patricia was waiting for them at the door. She looked different from the girl in the rain. She was wearing clean clothes. And her hair was brushed, but her eyes were the same. They were scared. She looked at William like she was hoping he could fix something that had been broken for a very long time. William nodded at her and smiled. It was a small smile, but it was real. Lily looked at Patricia, and within 5 minutes, they were talking like they had known each other for years. Patricia knelt and showed Lily around the house. She showed her the garden, the library, and the swimming pool. Lily had never seen a swimming pool before. Her eyes went wide. William watched them walk away together. And something inside his chest felt warm. He had not felt that warmth in a long time. Eleanor appeared on the second day. She walked into the kitchen where William was eating breakfast. She was dressed in all black. Her hair was pulled back tight. Her face was perfect, and her smile was perfect, but none of it was real. William could see that right away. He had spent his whole life reading people. He knew what a real smile looked like. Eleanor's smile was a mask. She had been wearing it for a long time, and she was very good at it. Eleanor introduced herself as if she were welcoming a guest to her home. She was polite. She was warm. She told William he was very welcome in the mansion. She told him she hoped he and Lily would be comfortable. William said thank you and nothing else. He did not trust her. Irene had told him everything, but he did not show it. He just smiled back and kept eating his breakfast. Over the next 2 weeks, William watched Eleanor carefully. He watched the way she moved through the house. He watched the way she talked to the staff. He watched the way she looked at Patricia when she thought no one was watching, and he started to see it. The small things Irene had told him about. Patricia's shoes moved from where she left them. Her school bag emptied in the middle of the night. Her phone locked itself for no reason. William saw all of it, and every time it happened, he knew it was Eleanor. Eleanor was good at what she did. She never did anything that anyone could catch her. She waited until the house was quiet. She waited until the staff was asleep or busy somewhere else. She moved things. She deleted things from Patricia's phone. She whispered things to Patricia when no one else was in the room. Things like "you're forgetting again" or "you're losing your mind." Small words that cut deep. Patricia started to believe them. William started to fix things. Not with tools this time. He fixed things with words. When Patricia came to him looking scared and confused, he told her the truth. He told her that nothing was wrong with her. He told her that someone was playing tricks on her, and that he was going to find out who. Patricia did not believe him at first. She had been told for so long that she was broken that she did not know what to trust anymore. But William kept talking to her. Every day, he told her the same thing. You are not crazy. You are not broken. Someone is doing this to you, and we are going to stop it. Lily helped too, without even knowing it. She followed Patricia around the house like a shadow. She made Patricia laugh. She made Patricia feel normal. When Patricia saw Lily smile at her and treat her like the most important person in the world, something started to change inside Patricia. The fear did not disappear overnight, but it got smaller every day. Eleanor noticed William watching her. She did not like it. William could see in the way she looked at him when she thought he was not paying attention. Her eyes would narrow. Her jaw would tighten. She was not used to someone seeing through her. She was used to being the smartest person in every room. But William was not stupid. He was quiet. And quiet people see more than loud people think. By the end of the third week, Eleanor made her move. She had been planning it for a long time. She had been waiting for the right moment. And she found it at the Dubose board meeting. The board met every month to discuss the company. Irene always attended. Eleanor always attended, too. She sat at the end of the table next to Marcus. She held his hand. She looked like a caring mother. Everyone on the board loved Eleanor. They felt sorry for her. They respected her. That day, Eleanor stood up during the meeting and looked at every board member. Then she spoke. She told them that Irene was neglecting Patricia. She told them that Irene had hired a low-class mechanic to live in the mansion and that Patricia was in danger. She used Marcus. She put her hand on his shoulder and let tears fall from her eyes. The board listened. Some of them believed her. William was not at that meeting, but Irene called him right after. Her voice was shaking. She said Eleanor was winning, and William knew it was time to fight back. Eleanor thought she had won. After the board meeting, she walked through the mansion like a queen who had finally taken her throne. She smiled at the staff. She smiled at Marcus. She smiled at William when she passed him in the hallway. It was a kind of smile that said, I see you, and there is nothing you can do about it. William said nothing. He just watched her walk away. He had been watching her for weeks now, and he had found something. Something Eleanor did not know about. Something that was going to change everything. It started 3 days before the board meeting. William was fixing a small leak in the basement when he noticed something strange. A small wire running along the wall behind one of the shelves. William followed the wire with his hands. It led to a tiny black box hidden behind a stack of old boxes. William knew what it was right away. It was a recording device. A small one. The kind that could listen to everything happening in a room without anyone knowing. William did not touch it. He did not move it. He let it stay where it was. He knew that if Eleanor found out he had discovered it, she would destroy the evidence and start over. So William let the device keep recording. But he started being very careful about what he said and where he said it. He moved his real conversations with Irene to the garage. He told Irene everything there. No cameras, no devices, just two people talking the truth. Over the next few days, William found 3 more devices. One in the kitchen, one in Patricia's bedroom, one in the hallway near Irene's office. Eleanor had been listening to everything, every conversation, every phone call, every whisper. She knew everything that happened in that house. That was how she knew exactly when to move Patricia's things. That was how she knew exactly what to say to Patricia to make her doubt herself. Eleanor had built her war using information, and now William had found her weapons. William did not go to the police. He did not go to a lawyer. He went to Irene. He told her everything he had found. Irene listened and her face went cold. Not the cold she showed to the world. A different cold. The kind of cold that comes when someone you trusted has been betraying you for a very long time. Irene was angry, but she was smart. She told William they needed to use the devices the same way Eleanor had used them. They needed proof. Real proof that the board could not ignore. So they made a plan. William went back into the mansion and had a conversation. He made sure he had it near one of Eleanor's devices. He talked to Patricia. He asked her to tell him everything Eleanor had said to her, everything she had whispered, everything she had done. Patricia talked for a long time. She told William about every time her things went missing, every time Eleanor told her she was losing her mind, every time Eleanor smiled at her and made her feel like she was nothing. The device recorded all of it. Then William did one more thing. He went to Eleanor directly. He told her he was leaving. He told her he could not handle living in a mansion like this. He acted defeated. He acted as if Eleanor had won. Eleanor smiled. She believed him. She let her guard down. And in that moment, she said something she should not have said. She told William that Patricia was weak. She told him that the girl would never be strong enough to take over the company. She said it with pride, like it was something she had done on purpose. The device recorded every word. William took the recordings to the board meeting the next week. Irene stood up and played them for every member. The room went silent. Eleanor sat at the end of the table next to Marcus. Her face changed. The mask she had worn for years started to crack. She tried to speak. She tried to explain. But there was nothing to explain. The recordings were clear. Her own voice was proof of everything she had done. The board removed Eleanor from the estate that same day. They removed her from any role in the Dubose family business. Eleanor did not fight it. She took Marcus and she left. She did not say goodbye to anyone. She just walked out of the mansion the way she had walked in, like a queen who had lost her kingdom. But William and Irene did not cut Marcus out. That was not who they were. They made sure Marcus had the best care he could get. They set up a trust for him. They made sure he would never go without anything he needed. Eleanor had used her son to fight her war. William and Irene made sure the boy himself would never suffer because of what his mother had done. 6 months late, our William and Irene got married. It was a small ceremony. No big party. No fancy guests. Just family. Lily wore a white dress and carried flowers. Patricia stood next to Irene and smiled the real kind of smile that had been missing from her face for a long time. After the ceremony, they all drove back to William's garage. They sat on old chairs and ate food Irene had cooked herself. Lily and Patricia laughed and played. William looked at Irene, and she looked at him. They did not need to say anything. They both knew the truth. A fixed life is always better than a perfect one. This story teaches us that evil does not always look like a villain in a dark cape. Sometimes it hides behind a caring smile and a sympathetic story. Eleanor used her son's disability to make people feel sorry for her while she destroyed others. The real lesson is that we must always look beyond appearances. A person who quietly protects others without asking for praise will always be stronger than a person who uses suffering to gain power. True strength is not found in wealth or control. It is found in the choice to protect the weak, even when no one is watching. So here's the real question. Did you subscribe yet? Thousands of people will listen to this story and won't subscribe. Please don't be that person. If you're listening right now, help me prove something wrong. My dad said I wouldn't even reach 1,000 subscribers, but I believe stories like this deserve to be heard. Help me show him that these tales matter. Please subscribe to this channel, and let's keep breathing life into stories that were never meant to stay silent. And here's what I need to know. Do you want part 2?